MCU movies are so great that it's almost impossible to rank them as best. Things get even harder with each new realized movie. So we were able to rank all of the best MCU films to date. So here are the top 10 MCU movies yet. Before we get further, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified of our latest videos. Alright, let's get to it. At number 10, Black Panther. Black Panther is without a doubt one of the best Marvel movies ever made. The rich and colorful nation of Wakanda serves as a stunning backdrop for superheroes' solo voyage as he returns home to become king following the events of the Civil War. As you might anticipate, not everything goes according to plan, and Killmonger, one of the best Marvel villains, is one of the reasons Black Panther is one of the best Marvel movies. At number 9, Captain America Civil War. In Captain America Civil War, you have Team Cap and Team Iron Man. And when the two collide, you have one heck of a superhero flick. Civil War is one of the best Marvel movies because it brought the long-growing feud between Captain America and Iron Man to a terrible new level, tearing apart the superhero family we'd come to know and love. Civil War was far more fascinating than any conflict with a shared foe, and it left a lasting impression on fans, with long-term implications for the MCU's future. At number 8, Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man is dealing with the consequences of Mysterio revealing his actual identity after the events of Far From Home. He enlists Doctor Strange's assistance to make everyone forget, but the spell goes awry, causing multiverses to collide. This is fantastic news for fans since it means the multiverse is open. We get to see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, as well as some of their biggest villains in the MCU. No Way Home isn't just a great MCU film, it also makes the previous Sony Spider-Man films better, which is why it's one of the best Marvel movies of all time. At number 7, Iron Man. Given that the first Iron Man film was not the very first MCU film ever filmed, it's difficult not to regard it with awe. Let's not forget that one of Iron Man's best features is his arsenal. The Iron Man armor was and continues to be one of the most powerful weapons in the MCU, and it was made even better by the bombastic yet adorable man behind the wheel, Tony Stark. While the battle between Iron Man and Ironmonger is minor by today's MCU standards, it matches the superhero's trajectory to become one of the most well-known figures in the genre. At number 6, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. One of the best spying films ever created is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. When the Winter Soldier enters his life, Steve Rogers is still adjusting to life in the modern world after defrosting and saving the world in the Avengers. The deadly assassin is more myth than man, but he sets in motion a chain of events that will turn Captain America's entire universe upside down. The Winter Soldier is not just a critical film in the MCU timeline, but it also contains some of the most flawless action sequences you'll ever see. At number 5, Spider-Man: Homecoming. Spider-Man was introduced in Captain America Civil War by Marvel. Tom Holland's flawless casting is responsible for much of the character's success, and after the great performance in Civil War, Homecoming was his first solo adventure. Director John Watts kept Peter Parker on track with a classic neighborhood confrontation with the Vulture, while he was dreaming of becoming an Avenger. Homecoming is MCU at the best. A heartbreakingly human drama with superheroes thrown in for good measure. At number 4, Thor: Ragnarok. Director Taika Waititi made the brilliant decision in Ragnarok to lean into the character's humor rather than try to suppress it, resulting in one of the MCU's funniest flicks. Hulk, Loki, and a slew of other cool new characters like Valkyrie, Grandmaster, and Korg were all brought to the MCU, although he wasn't allowed to have another solo feature. You can't forget one of the best villains in the MCU, and that's Hela. At number 3, Guardians of the Galaxy. It's currently largely regarded as one of the best Marvel films ever created. The Guardians aren't scared to have a good time while saving the day, usually because they're unsure whether they're heroes or villains depending on how they're feeling at the time, and that's why we love them. They may argue and sneer at each other daily, but still they're a dangerous and very dysfunctional family. At number 2, Avengers: Infinity War. And by this point in the MCU, there's plenty of new superheroes who come in Infinity War to save everyone from Thanos. Given the number of people, universes, and weaponry involved, saying this picture might have been a disaster is an understatement. But the Russo brothers managed to put it all together into a film that not only makes sense, but it's also one of the best Marvel movies out. Infinity War, with equal parts action and heart, raises the standard for the MCU and sets up Endgame to push it even higher. Speaking of which, at number 1, Avengers: Endgame. It was one of the most anticipated films of all time, and it lived up to the hype. The conclusion of Marvel's Infinity Saga culminated the adventures of various characters, including Cap, Iron Man, and Black Widow, whom the world had grown to love over the previous 11 years. Endgame was a wonderful capstone to the MCU's first decade, full of warmth, enormous fan and character moments, and addictive energy that made it soar over its 3 hours. Well guys, thanks so much for watching the video. What'd you think about it? Let us know in the comments below. If you're new to our channel, be sure to subscribe and ring that bell to get notified about our latest videos. We'll see you next time.